Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on July the 15th, 2021. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So in terms of the major news that came out, a few things that we have seen. So a bit of a volatile market. We saw prices go trade in both directions. So the first one was Bank of Canada rate statement. So interest rates, they held the interest rates at the levels they're at, but they did provide forward, they did adjust the quantitative easing program. So quantitative easing is basically all the money that they have been pumping into the market. So buying bonds, securities in the market. So government or Bank of Canada has been buying it. They are cutting back on that. So this is why, so this was positive for Canadian dollar, and we saw dollar CAD drop as a result of that. Excuse me. After that, we have Powell testify. So Powell essentially said that the Fed is going to continue to provide support to the market, basically the opposite of what Bank of Canada said. So they are not looking at tapering. They are going to continue providing the support in spite of the inflation concerns. They're not too concerned about it. So this is why we saw US dollar drop as a result of that. So when central bank is cutting back on the monetary policy, they're tightening the monetary policy, that is positive for the currency. And when they continue to hold a loose monetary policy, that is bad for the currency, but good for the stock market. And hence we saw the reversal. So yesterday CPI numbers came in positive, which means that people were expecting the Fed to act and start tightening stuff. But today in Powell's testimony, he said, nope, we're not going to do that. We'll continue to provide support as long as it's required, regardless of other stuff. So, and hence the reversal. So that's what we have at the moment. We do have employment numbers coming up for Australia. And again, if the numbers are positive, that will be good for Australian dollar. Okay, coming up on Thursday here, we have MPC member Sauter speaking. This is important here. We have employment numbers for UK here. So with the employment numbers, if we see the earnings going up, so that's quite a forecast. So average earnings going from 5.6 to 7.1, that's quite a raise. If the forecast matches the actuals that can come out, this will be positive for the pound, and we could see pound go up further. And same thing here with the number, claimant count. So if that decreases here, this is also positive. So overall, numbers coming positive here will be good for British pound, and we're likely to see the pound go up as a result of that. We have unemployment claim numbers for the US, so same applies here. And then Powell testifying again. So if he continues with the rhetoric, basically comments that he said today, if what he says tomorrow, excuse me, also matches the same, then we are likely to see more of a drop in the US dollar. Now, should he adjust the second day statements, that would change things. However, based on what he said today, we are likely to see a similar story come out as well. But however, we do have to pay attention to the comments, and any kind of questions that he get asked by the Congress can make a difference. So keep an eye on that. We also have CPI numbers for the quarter for New Zealand. So New Zealand is actually, so positive news for New Zealand dollar as well. So they are also providing forward guidance in regards to tightening the monetary policy, just like Bank of Canada is doing. And this is why we have seen New Zealand dollar go up as a result of that. So if the CPI numbers come in higher than expected, that will add to the same trend, and we're likely to see New Zealand dollar continue higher. And then we have monetary policy statement from Bank of Japan. So with this one here, so right now we're just waiting to see which direction the banks are leaning towards. So Fed is leaning towards keeping the monetary policy loose, which is negative for the US dollar. So if Bank of Japan says the same, so they are not going to change the interest rate. They haven't changed this in a long time, but it will be the tightening in terms of the asset purchase program. So we'll see if they continue on with the loose monetary policy. That would be negative for Japanese yen. So we'll keep an eye on things there. Looking at our charts here, we'll start off with euro dollar here. So euro dollar looking bullish right now. As we can see, price went into support here and then reversed. Now looking for it to go all the way into the top of the range here. It's been trading within this range between 1.1880 and 1.1770. So in this case, looking for a move towards the top of the range and potentially a reversal at 1.1880. So bullish bias here for euro dollar. Pound dollar, this one as well. We saw price go up. However, we may have, now there is the employment numbers coming out. Overall, though, this is a little bit range bound here as well. Over the last few days, hasn't really moved out of the range at this point. It's right into resistance. So this is what we have to keep in mind about pound here. The resistance, it's right into 1.3870. If it holds below, we're likely to see a retest of the low. However, because it's in trading in this range, and bullish, our bias is bullish here, we're likely to see the price go into 1.3900 back into the top here. So right now, bullish bias, and looking for price to trade the range either between 1.3900 and 3800, so 100 pip, or it could go into the low here as well, 1.3740. So right now, though, bullish bias, target is 1.3900. Aussie dollar, this also looks bullish. First target is 0.7500, and then if it continues higher, we're looking at 0.7535. So into this support resistance level here. So bullish bias. With these ones, one thing we have to keep in mind is the resistance level. Price is coming into resistance into the top of the range. It has struggled with this level many times before, and because of that, we could see a move back into the range. Expect volatility with Powell's statement. So all the dollar crosses could basically go back and forth. So watch out for that. Right now, though, bullish bias here. New Zealand dollar, a huge move to the upside here for New Zealand dollar, and that was because of the positive comments from Bank of New Zealand. This is looking bullish. Next target here is 0.7070. So this is bullish, and then we're looking above that. We're looking at 0.7100. So bullish bias here. It's in this bigger range now. So we're looking for price to go into the resistance at 0.7070. First one, 0.71000. Sorry, 0.7100 is the next one. So bullish bias here. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD, interesting for dollar CAD because we had news for both the currencies here. Price dropped initially when Bank of Canada statement came out, and then it went up when Powell spoke. So overall, or it moved in both directions. So at this point, still looking range bound, so expecting a range bound move from dollar CAD. So neutral bias. A neutral to slightly bullish bias here for dollar CAD. All right, let's take a look at our commodities. Silver here. Silver moved up. Now failed to maintain the move through the resistance. So we are back in. So neutral bias here. We are likely to see a range bound move again for silver. So neutral bias, looking for a move towards 25.773 area. Gold, big move up in gold. sorry, excuse me. So big move up in gold, broke through the resistance. So this one's still looking bullish here. Next target is 1837, and then further up into 1845. So bullish bias here for gold. Oil here, oil not doing so well, a big drop in oil. So this looks bearish, looking for a further drop, and this will not help the Canadian dollar. So 70.20 is the target. So this is bearish. Copper here, copper also looking bearish. This is still trading in a range at this point, and we are seeing a move, small, slight slide here. It's taken 4 days or 3 days to just move this much. So we're looking for price to go towards 4.18. So still a range bound move, neutral to bearish bias here. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin still stuck here, hovering into support at this point. Did test the support, bounced back up, but doesn't look very solid at this point. I will look for a retest of the support. If it holds, then we're looking for a move back towards the middle and then potentially towards the top of the range. However, if this gives out, we got a big move to the downside that could happen. So right now, neutral bias. I'm looking for a range bound move, but watch out for the support. S&P 500, this one with the Powell's testimony is positive for the stock market because that means easy or cheaper money for businesses, which is good for the stock market. So with this one here, bias is neutral. For the last few days here, price has not been able to go through the resistance, but it has failed to go through the support as well. It's holding above the previous support resistance level, so it does still have that overall bullish bias. So I'm looking for a retest basically. If it goes through or if it holds above the support, then we'll be aiming for the next level higher. But should it drop through here, we are back into next level here at 4311 or 4300. So right now, bias is neutral for S&P 500, looking for a move towards 4350. And NASDAQ as well, similar move here. It was bullish with Powell's testimony, but it still has not been able to break through the resistance. It is continuing on with this bullish bias that we have had since March, really, and it's still continuing on. But right now, we have to watch out because there's a big pin. Prices moved in both directions here. I'm looking for a retest of 14,820, and if it holds, then we will look for a continuation move higher. However, if Powell's testimony is not quite as strong today, tomorrow, then we are looking for a drop back towards 14,630. So we just have to be careful here. Neutral bias for NASDAQ as well. This one can move in either direction. And Dow Jones, again, completely neutral here. We see price opened and closed at exactly the same point. So this is neutral as well for last few days. Price has been struggling with the resistance. So this one could go in either direction, looking for a drop towards 34,670. So neutral bias for Dow Jones as well. DAX here, DAX also struggling with the highs for the last few days. It hasn't been able to make through the resistance, which means we could see a move back into the range again. So neutral bias for DAX as well. And in this case here, we are looking for a move back down towards 15,611. Footsie here, Footsie back into the range here after the neutral, looking for a move towards 70.25. So neutral bias. Basically, I'm looking for a range bound move here still. And Nikkei here, Nikkei was completely neutral. Price moved in both directions, opened and closed at exactly the same point. And now I'm looking for a move like this. But watch out for the support. If it doesn't go through, it can still go back up. So neutral bias at the moment. Target is 28,270. So that's it. All right, so that's it for today. You guys have a wonderful trading day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.